pause that in a moment here because I don't need it recording this part. Good afternoon, viewers. Thank you to the Banjo Kazooie theme from 2015 to get your attention. At this point in time, we're working with students on creating a level to a standard design. And the standard design incorporates the idea that the player begins on the bottom level and needs to make their way through an almost maze-like structure, industrial in nature, with holes they need to avoid in the path. And at the top of this, the specifications show there's a helicopter waiting to take away the player. So what's happening in the background is one of the students has kindly volunteered to be helpful in showing how to export an asset from a 3ds Max scene to import into the game. Now, it just so happens that this 3ds Max scene has got selection sets. And so I'm going to remind the student to look in the top middle where you've got selection sets and to try to find the part where you can find the Black Hawk helicopter as a selection set. So you can select by name in the scene organizer, which in this 3ds Max view is in the lower left-hand corner. I'll move my head over there. It should start with B for Black Hawk, I believe. And there is a Black Hawk helicopter. So if you click on the word Black Hawk, and then we want to make sure we are zooming our selection. In the lower left-hand corner, lower right-hand corner, there's a little turquoise box that says Zoom Extend Selection. And if you were to click on that, it would zoom in on the selection that's just our helicopter. Now, since our helicopter is selected, that's what we want to export. We're going to actually go up to the word File at the top and look for the word Export. And what we're going to do is we're going to Export Selected. Perfect. Now pick the location that you want to put it. In this instance, he's on his home drive, which is great. Now we're going to change Autodesk FBX so that it goes to a different format. We're going to do this two ways. FBX is what we're going to look for here. So look for FBX. Perfect. Autodesk FBX is it. Give it a name like Huey or Helicopter or Black Hawk or Bob, whatever you want to call it. Click on Save. If you're really smart, you'll go into the content folder and export it directly there, but you don't have to. Putting it right there is perfect, actually, in your Unreal folder. Go ahead and click on Save, please. Now let's take a minute here and look. We want to make sure you've got something called Turbo Smooth, Great, and Triangulate. Those are always good ideas whenever you're bringing something into another game engine. And then Embed Media, make sure that's selected. That's a little checkbox, perfect. And let's scroll down to the bottom and just double check everything else looks good. Version 2013. I believe you can drop that down and update that to a higher version. 2020. Let's try that. And click on OK. Now, before we leave the scene, in that generally speaking is one workflow, there's another option. If you click on File and go to Export a second time, I want to point out there's another way to export. And it says Game Exporter. I'd like you to use the Game Exporter to try that. And let's also make sure that we are doing skinning here. Skinning is the option that will let us take the exterior on it. And let's leave this at up axis of Y. And then all we're going to do, nope, let's double check where it says Export All. I think we want to change that to Export Selected. So near the top, Model Default, Export Selected. Perfect. And now we can pick our path and file name. And we'll give this one a slightly different name just to help keep them straight. Like you could call it Bob 2 or something like that. And it will probably do an FBX because that's generally speaking how it's going to happen. So that's fine. Unreal, good. H Unreal. So, yep, that's right. You click on, so file name is a little bit below that, and it says enter a file name. I know you got the pressure that we're recording you, but believe me, you're doing great. He clicks on the word export, and this happens pretty quick. Perfect. We got the okay. We can just minimize 3ds Max just so it's still available if you need to get back in here and grab, I don't know, your snowman or something like that. You want to bring that in. Now in the content browser, hopefully you've got your own folder, something like a student name or something. If you don't, then it's a good idea to add one just so you can keep track of your own stuff. That will build a folder that you can grab things from later. All right. We're going to, yeah, oh good, he's going to set a color. Let's open up the folder. And then on the left-hand side, there's an Add Import button. It's a green one. Let's click on that. Go to the top. Yeah, click on Import into Game Stuff. Yes, click on that. Now, it just wants to know what you want to import. Let's go to our H drive, I think you put it, under Unreal. And you'll notice it's looking for all the different types you can bring in, which includes images and things like that. So if you start to type out the name of an object, there we go, there's an FBX. Let's go helicopter 2 first, if you don't mind. I think that'll work better for us. And right here, it's okay, check. I'm just double checking it doesn't think it's a skeletal mesh, which would then try to put a skeleton on it so you could animate it. And let's click on Import All. All right. Doesn't like a texture, huh? Well, let's close out of that message for a minute and let's see what this looks like if we, yep, it's just compiling the shaders. So, yep, let's see what our helicopter looks like. That wasn't too hard. You'll notice that this was off from the scene root. If I had been smart, I would have remembered to put this at position 00 before we actually brought it in. So I made a oops, but it's workable. You can scale it up as you see fit, and then you'll have a helicopter on the roof. Yeah, it's going to be a little awkward the way the offset is from there. There's a way to fix it, but I don't want to distract you from it. For our purposes, you can just hit your spacebar, switch over to scaling. One more time, please. And then just do a uniform scale and make that helicopter big. And then switch over to the move tool with W and move it wherever you want. You could, once you've got it in there, have multiple instances and put them at different angles and have it look like the Black Ops the helicopters are attacking or whatever. You could right click on the roof and say play from here to check out scale if you want to. Sorry if my head's in the way there. Play from here is down near the bottom where it says preview. There they are. They're coming to help us. So, yep, you can do it either way. You can either re-import it with the position closer to the origin of 00, or you can just deal with this here. Thank you for letting me record this as a demonstration. It's always better when a student does it, and I can, commentate. All right, a couple more things we could do here. Kenny, if you got a minute, let's fix that lighting needs to be rebuilt message. Let's go to your top viewport for a minute. No, before you do a building, I got to show you one more thing that's very important to understand. And from a top viewport, we're going to add something I haven't talked about yet. It's part of the volumes area. So you're in geometry mode. If you could kindly slide down to volumes, we're looking for something called light mass importance value. It's right above my head. And when you drag one of these out into the scene, you're going to see a small box. We want to size that so that it covers your entire world. So on the right-hand side where we've got our properties for the box, you could probably make that something like, I don't know, 20,000. Yeah, there you go, brush size. So X and Y, probably like 20,000 or less. Hey, remember how to measure things? You could use your middle mouse button, click and hold, and drag it from side to side. So you need it to be, probably 3,500, just to make sure you cover up your level there. So 3,500, 3,500. And then for your top, yeah, that's fine. Just check it from your left viewport. Make sure you actually cover the top and bottom. I think you got it. So now when you do a build, you're going to end up with a much better result because that light mass importance volume will confine the calculations to within that whatever space you've defined. And it won't worry about something that's 3 miles away from your player, which Unreal could technically redo if you let it. So you can do, anytime you do a build now, it'll rebuild your lighting. It'll play a little bit better for you. Thank you for the opportunity to do a demo. And students continue to ask questions, private or public comments, and I'll go through them as they come up. This concludes the Banjo Kazooie tip of the day. Thanks for playing along. Have a great day.